Hi everyone, my name is Paulo Shayo, and I'm here to introduce to you my project, which is about a plastic shredding machine. So, in this project, I'm with my friend Samuel Karuru, who is also my classmate. So, we are both mechatronics students, class of 2024. Yeah, so shortly, as a background of this project, so me and my friend, we sometimes back visited the Labadi beach. And then while we were there, we realized that there's a lot of plastic bottles that are polluting the area of the beach. And we thought maybe if it was like if we are able to do anything about it, so we said, okay, what if we come up with a project that will be dealing with how to minimize such pollutants on the beach, but not only on the beach. It can also be on surrounding areas like the streets. Yeah, um so, what's a plastic shredding machine? So, this is generally a device that will be used to break down plastic wastes into smaller pieces, typically in preparation for the recycling or proposal. So, generally, this machine is the best, like, is the foundation of recycling. Like, people really find it difficult to deal with plastics unless you shred them first into smaller pieces, and then from there it might be a little easier to work with plastics. So there's varieties of benefits of this device, of this machine. First of all, we reduce the volume of plastic wastes. So let's say we have a lot of plastic bottles in the area, and then maybe we choose to pack them and then transport them maybe to a pit. So you see, like, plastic bottles has high volume but low masses. So if we want to transport a huge mass, so that will be cost effective with how we manage our plastics, we need to reduce their size and their volume so that we can carry as much mass, as much weight as possible. So if we shred the plastics into small particles, first of all, it make it easier to transport and to store. So secondly, it can help to separate different types of plastics because we can decide to shred either, let's say, plastic beverage bottles or plastic utensils, which are of different material plastics, and they might be used in recycling at different perspectives or different to make different products. So as you are shredding, it's easier to sort your kinds of plastics. Let's say these are PET plastics, like from the plastic beverage bottles, or let's say these are other kinds of plastics. Let's say it's a thermoplastic or something like elastomers or something else. So it make it easier to shred and then to sort the plastics as per the specifications. Okay, so and finally, the shredding of plastics can help to reduce the environmental impact of wastes in general, because it's often very difficult to dispose of in a way that does not harm the environment. So shortly, I mean, a lot of people know how to work with other materials, let's say wood, let's say and other materials, but very few people know how to work with plastics. And it's like that mainly because, first, the recycling of plastics is expensive, like the equipments and things like that, the power used, some of the chemicals in some cases, it make it expensive to run it as a local industry. But there are also some local ways that can be cost effective that might be developed and help in, like, starting the foundation stage of trying to recycle the plastics. Yeah, so the plastic crushers or shredders can vary in size. They can be very big machines, medium machines, or just small machines. Yeah, so but in general, these plastic shredding machines are very important in the fight against plastic pollution, as the plastic pollution is very hazardous to the environment, as plastics are not biodegradable. Means if they go to the soil, if they go to water bodies, they don't degrade. So like they displace the organism habitats. They also sometimes, if they are in water bodies, they turn into microplastics which might be consumed with animals and sometimes human beings, and in the far end it can just lead to healthy problems. So plastic waste is generally lethal. Yeah, so after having a short abstract or just an introduction on our machine. So what we did so far up to now, we have been able to gather some literature review, like looking on what other people did on their plastic shredder designs, on how people studied different kinds of plastics, and how different kinds of plastics are either valuable when recycled, or which kinds of plastics are not really recyclable, maybe reusable, like as a form of minimizing its pollution. Yeah, so after going through the literature review and see variety of machines and varieties of properties of plastics, yeah, we have been able to understand like what are the opportunities that are present in the surrounding on how to work on plastics and things of the like. So after that, we came with a conclusion where we said, after gathering such information from the literature review, we said the reviews have shown that plastic shredding are effective in shredding plastic waste into small pieces. So, but their performance is generally evaluated by the shredding capacity, the amount of power it consumes. This is the electric power, and then the shredding efficiency, like is the output efficiently as compared to the power that is being used. Yeah. So, and generally, the plastic recycling is a critical process of conserving resource, reducing waste, and protecting the environment. However, most industries face challenges including lack of infrastructures and investments, contamination of plastic waste, the complexity of recycling process itself. Yeah, so after that, after going through the literature review, so I and my friend began the plastic shredding machine design calculations. Here's where now we try to design using engineering specifications of what we expect to have in the end. So, upon the shredding unit, which is the crushing unit where we feed our plastic bottles so as to shred them into small pieces. So, the main technical specification of our machine, first we assumed um, the selection of the motor we did by depending on the work to be performed in our machine. So first of all, the capacity of the machine we assume to be 310 kilograms of plastics in an hour, and feed per cycle is 5 plastic bottles per revolution, and a mass of the plastic made it range for one plastic bottle as 15 grams, which is 0.015 kilograms, and etc. And other kinds of variations that are responsible for like a successful design of this machine. So at the end, we found that the power requirement will be a 2.2 kilowatts from the motor, in the speed around 700 revolutions per minute, but we need to use a gearbox or a geared motor so as to reduce the speed but to increase the torque or force. So by a ratio of 10, so we need at the output of a gearbox to have an RPM of about 70. um, so the material is to be used in this machine will be mild steel. Previously, we assumed to use a stainless steel, so as because of the durability and rust resistant of stainless steel, but the material is very expensive and really doesn't make any sense in terms of cost effectiveness. So we decided to shift to mild steel. Yeah, so we went through other designing processes, and then we like followed the engineering requirements for the safety design. And at the end of the day, we found that we were satisfied that our design is safe for the use. So the design, after the design, we found out the design is safe for the use. Okay, so after that, we also try to. I'm sorry. We after the engineering design, we did prepare engineering drawings for our machine. So here is our framework. So here is our frame that will be used for mounting some of the machine parts and machine components, including the shredding unit will be mounted around here, and then the motor and the gearbox will be on this side. Yeah, and then um, we can see here about the shredder overview. So this is what we are looking to have in the end of the design. Like, so right here, as you see, we have the shredding unit, then have the hopper. This hopper is where we feed the plastic bottles, and then here we have the motor of 2 horsepower, 2 plus horsepower, and here we'll have the gearbox. So this gearbox is responsible to reduce the speed of this motor into small speed but high torque. So and then this will be reduced by a ratio of 10. So the revolution per minute of the motor will be reduced into a ratio of 10, ratio 1. Yeah, so here we will have like a control box or a controlling center where you can switch on, switch off, reverse the motion and things like that. Yeah, so this is generally the overall emission that we're expecting. The wideness of 600 millimeters and height of about 1142 millimeters. Yeah, and we also, let's see clearly how the shredding unit looks like. So this here, this is the shredding unit. As you see here, these are rotating knives, and these here are fixed knives. So a plastic bottle will be crushed in between these knives, and then the size of the output of the shredded pellets will be determined by the sieve. So there will be a sieve of different sizes, considering which size we would like to have in the output. But the smaller the size, the more time it takes to shred. So it has to be at a certain, um, not very small, like micromillimeters, but should be in some millimeters values. Okay, and then because of the complexity of the knives and some of the parts, most of the components of this machine will be machined by precision machining by laser cutting. So these are the parts to be uh, obtained by laser cutting. So as you see this one here, these are the rotating knives, and this number 8 is the fixed knives, and number 4. So and the other issue is, because we found that these parts are of varying thicknesses. Others are sheets of 5 millimeters, others 6 millimeters, and others are of 3 millimeters. Now the these sizes of these sheets makes the machine heavy, so it kind of initially found that maybe it will limit its portability. So what we did is, like, we decided to make the shredding unit, all of it, to be made out of temporary joints, like the bolts and nuts, instead of welding, so that if we need to transport this machine, we can just uh, unscrew all of it and then pack it maybe in a box, and then transport it to where we need to take it, and maybe taste and perform some crushing of the plastics. Yeah, so after after that, let's see now how the shredding unit works in a short animated film here. Yeah, so as you see, this is the shredding unit, which will now be crushing the plastics. So the plastics will be fed in the shredding units, and they'll be crushed into the small sizes. Yeah, so this is generally what we expect the shredder to do. Yeah, so currently we are expecting to start this fabrication stage in the beginning of April, particularly 10th of April. We will try to do the fabrication and machining and assembling, and we are hoping maybe before the end of April we might be able to do the testing of the machine. Yeah, and so right now we're just waiting for the fund after it has been approved, and then we move forward, and we are hoping to make this project a success. Yeah, so thank you very much everyone for listening, and we wish ourselves all the best. Thank you.